Hey everyone, this is Arjeet making a video on and teaching you how to gather requirements. I have Vivek here. He's gonna be helping me with this video. He's gonna act as a stakeholder, and I'm gonna be taking the role as a business analyst. And we're gonna go through the motions of how you need to interact with your stakeholders when gathering your requirements. So the project that we're gonna be showing you guys is DoorDash, because we want to make sure that you have familiarity with what we're working on. And so we'll go through the motions of gathering requirements for that. So Vivek, thank you so helping me with this. I really appreciate it. So let's get started.
Mhm.
So first, a lot of folks ask me like, where do you get started when gathering requirements? And so the first part, as you know, you first need a project plan, right? A project plan identifies high-level scope, functionality, timelines, and also identifies who your stakeholders are. So, and I also know that a lot of projects that we work on will not have a project charter. So if there is no project charter, work with your PM to help you understand the high level scope of the project, because if you don't have that high level scope identified, it may become really difficult for you to work on requirements because then like the universe is like wide open, right? You may, if there is no project charter, you may be asked to create one, and that's normal too. So again, you start with a project charter. For the purposes of this video, we're going to be doing DoorDash. So the question is, once you have a project charter, again, where do you get started? And again, the what I'm gonna go through in this video is my approach and how I try to organize my mind around projects. This is not the only approach. So there's the saying goes, right? There's many different ways to skin a cat. This is just the way that I go through understanding and getting my thoughts around the project. So first, I always like to do a use case diagram. And the use case diagram helps me formulate and understand what functionality we need to think about, right? And then also identify who are the actors, who are going to be the users of the system. So we'll go through and we'll identify for DoorDash, it's going to be the users, right? Customers are the main
Mhm.
actors for the project, and then the admin. And so when you create a use case diagram, you have two actors. You have then ovals to identify the functionality. So oftentimes I do use case diagrams with my stakeholders because use case diagrams are a good way to brainstorm what functionality we need to include. So here, um, Vivek, what do you think? What do we need in the DoorDash app? What functionality?
From a customer standpoint, we definitely want them to view the menu, so the items.
View menu. Okay.
We want them to able to place an order.
Okay.
We want them to be able to select the items, basically add them to the cart.
Add menu items to cart.
We want them to be able to edit or remove these items from the cart. And finally, when they're done with their selections, we want them to be able to make the payment and see their delivery status. Whilst the delivery is in process, we want them to be able to cancel the delivery as well and if it's basically they're canceling um late a bit like right before the delivery date, we want to be able to charge them for that cancellation as well.
So here, I think we talked about customers, but we didn't talk about like food outlets, like the people that need to put their restaurants or the restaurant owners, right?
Mhm.
So we need to think about them too. So for them, we want to give them the ability to add their restaurant or add their venue to the DoorDash ad, right? So like we said, view menu, we need to have give them the ability to load the menu, right?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say I copy this over. So add new food places
Hmm.
to the app. To the okay. I think this looks like a good start. Anything else that you can think about that we need to add?
Maybe our delivery drivers who to
Um,
be able to see.
so add delivery drivers.
As an actor, I mean.
Oh, actor. Okay, yes, that's right. And then I was thinking about functionality, so we do also need to add functionality to allow them to register as, or should we, okay, so if this is the app, maybe on the website, we get them to register as a driver because there's probably a registration process, right, for drivers and
Right.
verification. So maybe we don't make that available on the app.
But shouldn't they be able to see the deliveries on the app, or the delivery that they're making right now? They should be able to see where they're going, right?
Yes, yes, yes. But
Yeah.
I was talking about if we needed to, like for example, if I was interested in becoming an did we say if this was Uber Eats or DoorDash? DoorDash, right? So
DoorDash, yeah.
so if I was interested in becoming a DoorDash driver,
Mm-hmm.
I would need to go through the registration process. So maybe we don't make that into the app. I don't know if it's in the app right now or not, but maybe that's something that we put onto the website for if somebody's interested in becoming um, a DoorDasher, then they have to go through the process on the site and not the app.
Website makes more sense, yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So here are the main things that we need to do in the app. So now let's start to identify who needs access to what. And this helps out because this helps in doing this process before the requirements because for example, let's do this and then I'll explain why this helps a lot. So for customers, they need to view the menu, right? So we link the actors to the functionality. They need to be able to place orders, add menu items to cart, edit, remove, process payment, view delivery status, cancel delivery. Okay, so that's all we have. So these are all the things that um, when we start to talk to our stakeholder, we need to make sure that we're capturing this information. For the driver, though, what do we need to capture? What does the driver need access to? Do this driver need access to add new menu, like new places to the app?
No,
No, right? So what about view menu items?
towards the latter part of the delivery cycle, I think, once the he can view like he can track where he's going to be delivering, and on the app what status it shows.
So,
If the food is prepared, he goes to the place to go to the food place to pick up
hmm.
the food. Yeah.
So does the driver only need access to view delivery, not delivery status, right? Then maybe
Not
we
this
need,
time. Yeah.
so what do we say?
Preparation status can be a thing.
Prep status.
Hmm. Also, the delivery address, basically, he will know where he's delivering first, and how much that delivery is gonna make him. It's up to him if he wants to take that delivery or not.
Oh, so we need to add functionality that for the driver to pick up the delivery, right?
Exactly, yes.
So pick up.
And select the delivery that he wants to pick up.
So I'll
So
say
he gets a notification like these
select
are the
delivery.
deliveries, and like he can choose.
Select delivery,
Yep.
right? See, this is why, doing a use case diagram is super helpful because we haven't dived into the requirements. What if we had started diving into the requirements and then realized that we missed a functionality? So this is for this reason alone. I find that use case diagrams are super helpful. Like I said, this is one approach of gathering requirements. This is what I like to start out with first, um, but not necessarily the only way to do things. I'm just making more space. Is there anything else that we need to think about for the driver?
Not from a high level perspective, I don't think so. Should
Okay,
be.
good.
Mhm.
And then the food outlet, what do they need access to? They need access to
The menu items.
what else?
They would also need access to canceling orders as well.
So view menu.
I think we can add another functionality for comments. Like a customer can leave a comment, like I want the items to be this way, or I want like extra cutlery or something. And the food outlet would also need access to that part of the application to see like what the additional comments are, if there are any additional items required with the delivery.
So like notes and comments.
Notes and comments, exactly, yes.
Okay. So the food outlet needs access to that for sure,
Hmm.
right?
And the
And
customers as well, yes.
okay. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you for catching that.
Mm.
Okay. And then what else?
Oh, you marked it the wrong one for the customers. It's the second one. So customers cannot add new food places. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Got it. Thank you.
Didn't know
Okay,
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so food outlets. We only have notes, view menu.
Um,
What else?
view menu. They should be able to manage their inventory on the app, right? Because they should be able to see. Let's say they run out of certain items, they should be able to notify either the admin or like make that change themselves on the app.
Oh, okay.
That thing is we are out of that.
So new functionality, right?
That would be a new functionality, yes.
So, what do we call that? We call that like
Mhm.
their food like store dashboard, like admin dashboard, where they can go in and make selections of like saying that, oh, we're not going to serve vanilla lattes today,
Yeah.
or right.
We're
So
out of stock there.
yeah, so that way it gets off of the available things that people could order.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
modify their menus. So this will let them like modify their menus.
Mm-hmm. And we did not add reviews as well, which is very important for a food delivery app because people see ratings when they're ordering. So food outlets should be able to see that as well as customers
Oh,
should
this
be able
is
to.
this is getting too much.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when you
Yeah.
create use case diagrams. Um, it's important to identify this stuff before you start get knee deep into requirements and then later realize you forgot something. So this is from a brainstorming standpoint with your stakeholders super, super helpful because at least now I have all the things that I need to work on and make sure that I'm organizing my thoughts clearly. I'm talking to the right stakeholders about each of the functionality because the folks that you talk about, your stakeholders that are your customer group or your drivers or outlet will most likely be different stakeholders, right? And so this is why this is important. Okay, so let's go through this. Let's spend maybe 30 seconds on this and then move over to the requirements because we'll keep adding more. So we were working with customers and customers need reviews and drivers. For drivers, we said for now we have two, food prep status, delivery status, and cancel delivery, right?
Yes.
And then for food outlets, we need to give them access to this new dashboard that we added.
Mm-hmm.
That will let them manage their stuff. And then,
Cancel orders as well.
okay, where's cancel orders?
At the bottom. It's the last one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for admins, admin would be the person managing the DoorDash app. We
Uh-huh.
need to give them the ability to, um,
The most basic functionality I see for an admin is to upload discounts and offers for admins.
okay.
Uh-huh.
I think admin would be a secondary user in this because these are going to be the primary for me.
Right. Right.
So let's see if we could move this guy over here. It's getting messy.
Mm-hmm.
And the driver down here. So you guys could see the chicken scratch. Okay. So we'll make admin a secondary user because of course we know that they need to manage all the backend, but for the purposes of us gathering requirements from a customer standpoint, we'll just, use this here. Um, add new food places. So this is going to be the admin, right?
Um, no, they can register on their own.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that going to be the food
But
outlet?
but admin can do verification.
Okay. So do
Yeah.
we need this here? Add new food places to the
We
app?
can link it to admin, yes.
Okay.
Because admin might require to do some verification, right?
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this guy's not lonely here. Okay. Okay. I think this looks like a good start. What do you think?
Yep, I think it looks good.
So now this is the ovals that we said represent functionality. This is what you're gonna be gathering requirements for, right? Each of these things require um, more than not a lot of requirements gathering sessions. And so pick one, Vivek. Which one do you want to work on?
Let's work on placing orders, I guess. Because
Okay,
that's yeah.
sounds good. Bold that. So this is, I'm going to label this, rename as our use case. And then as business analysts, you guys need to be super organized. We said placing order, right?
Yes. Since this is the most high level one, because this will have a lot of internal functionalities, that's why it can be a good use case.
So generally, again, there are many different ways to gather requirements. One of the toolkits that in your BA toolkit, right, you can use workflow diagrams, you could use chat sessions, you could do interviews, you can do surveys. But the one that I like the most is, when you're interacting with your stakeholder, whether it's one-on-one interview session, whether it's in a chat session, I like to rely on workflow diagrams because it makes it easy for us to understand how the functionality is going to flow. So, as you know that I've done many, many videos on doing workflow diagrams. They're absolutely my favorite because it's a very logical approach of how the system needs to work. So when placing orders, are we at this point going to assume that somebody has an account already on DoorDash?
Yeah, we're gonna assume that they have added the items into their cart and now they're finalizing the process.
So DoorDash app. So your starting point is when they're already in the app, right?
Right.
And then let's label this because we always want to label our workflow diagrams. So your readers, and I was saying this to one of our students as doing assignment reviews, your you're not creating workflow diagrams to show your stakeholders how smart you are, right? You're creating a pretty, not a pretty, but easy to follow picture. So that way you can gather feedback on your workflow diagram. So folks that, like to create really long workflow diagrams, that's okay. But the goal is for your stakeholders to see a picture and identify what things are missing. That's the key thing when you're creating workflow diagrams. Placing orders, not purchasing, placing orders.
Yes, placing orders. Yes.
Okay, so this is so when your stakeholders look at this, when I'm done with this session with my stakeholder, what I'm going to do is send meeting notes, right? Summarize what we talked about, summarize any decisions that we made, right? And then talk about next steps. So if we work on this diagram together, I've updated it, send it with my meeting notes. I'm going to give my stakeholders time to review and come back to me with any questions they may have, and then finalizing the flow because again, we have all of this to document now as part of our requirements. So you want to talk about things, create diagrams, finalize it, because after you do the workflow diagram is when you start to document your requirements, okay? So that's the general flow. So, okay, so we log in. What needs to happen?
So initially they'll be viewing the menu items.
Okay.
Actually, before that, they'd be selecting a food outlet before viewing their menu.
So they log into the app and they
They see a customer dashboard where they can select not a dashboard, basically a customer interface where they can basically select a certain food outlet where they want to order from.
so identify. Okay.
Mhm.
What's next?
Then they view the items that food outlet has uploaded on DoorDash.
So view their menu.
Yeah, view the menu.
Then what?
Then they select the items that they want to purchase or get delivered.
So add menu items to cart.
Yep.
What if they want to add more than one?
Hmm.
If they want to, then we loop them back in here.
Hmm.
Oops. They don't want any more, then we take them to.
To the cart. They can view the cart.
Do they process payment? Because I don't use DoorDash, but
So
isn't the customer's payment already saved on the app? Because they don't have to put in their credit card, right?
not the first, not sorry. If it's the first time, they will have to. If it's not the first time, then they won't.
Okay.
But I think so. We should add a decision point here before the payment. Before them processing their payment, like if they want to edit or remove certain items, and if they
Okay.
don't, we continue. If they do, then they can do that.
Okay. So maybe finalize or
Finalize selection, just it can be.
if it's yes, then we move to process payment.
Hmm.
And if they want to make edits, where do we take them?
We take
Here
them.
or here?
Hmm.
And view card could have the functionality to remove.
To remove or edit. Uh-huh.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
On that page, we can have
Yep. Makes sense.
process payment. And then what happens?
Then they receive a notification and they can view their delivery status as well. That their order is on the way. They receive a notification that their order is on the way, and they can view the delivery status as well.
So order confirmation is one
Mhm.
thing, right?
Right.
And then do they get a notification on who's going to be delivering their food when the driver picks up?
I think so they would, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. We would like them to view that as well. And
So,
like they can view like how good the driver is. Basically, they can view the driver's reviews, you know?
okay. So notification of driver plus estimated delivery time?
Yes.
Right, because customers would want to know, like, when am I getting my food?
Right.
And then do we end there?
Yes. No, we end once the customer receives the food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Customer, or say food delivered,
Food delivered, yes.
and then we end. Okay.
Yep.
So this is our workflow diagram for placing orders, right, on the app. So once we do this, I'm gonna, as I said, as a business analyst or even a Scrum Master, right? Even if you're trying to write requirements or user stories, you need to create a workflow diagram or some sort to make sure that we haven't missed anything. I always meet with my stakeholders, send meeting notes within 24 hours of, as I mentioned, what we talked about, any decisions we made, and then the next steps, which is, hey, we worked on this together, review this and let me know if there's any edits or changes. And if there are no, let me know if this is finalized so we can move on to the next step, right? So that's the next step. So this is it's not a mystery. It's not that difficult to gather requirements because it's mostly just an interaction with your stakeholders and understanding how do they want to build a system? Like what functionalities do they want? And even this one is high level, right? So process payment, we can do a workflow diagram detailing out how to gather payment information and such. So again, as you start to build these out, as you start to gather requirements, this is a good way to go into detail and gather and documenting those requirements. So what we're going to do here is based on what we created, we'll um, document business requirements, right? These are going to be functional business requirements and or user stories. So we'll take a few of these, not all of it, and start to show you how to document requirements. So you see the end-to-end picture, not only like you're starting from scratch. We started from scratch, right? We identified all the major functionality that we need to put into our requirements. We did a workflow diagram, and now I'll show you how to do the requirements. So here, let's pick one thing. Let's just do the first one. So it's identify food outlet or restaurant. So from a functional business requirement, we write requirements from a system standpoint. So the way the format that you use is the system shall have the ability to list all um, food outlets slash restaurants in my area. And we need to define business rules, right? What does that mean? Like what does my area mean? And
A radius of 10 miles, it can be.
yeah,
Mhm.
and the customers, right? Not mine, but customers um uh with within the customers.
Delivery range.
Yeah. And we have to identify like what the delivery range may be.
Mhm.
So um 0 to 9 miles. And I think I don't know if they drive that far. Like if they make you pay something extra if it's like further than 10 miles, but I'm not clear. But we're gonna just assume that the delivery range is 0 to 10 miles from the customer's from the customer's delivery address.
So the delivery fee is charged based on how far you are from the outlet.
Oh, is it already?
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe the business rules need to be different to say if it's 0 to 10 miles um, from customer, then the delivery fee is, I don't know, $5.
Okay.
Range 10 to 15 miles. I'm totally making this up.
Mhm. 7.5.
So we'll copy and paste this.
Mhm.
So 16 to 20, 21 to 25. But then how do we determine
Mhm.
the food outlet? So we'll need business rules. This is business rules for delivery fee.
So we need to utilize an API which shows a location API which will automatically track according to the customer's address their location, and then it will only show them the food outlets that are available that are near to them within a certain radius.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
let's say 25 miles is our maximum limit. We
Yeah.
won't show anything beyond 25 miles.
So here, the requirements would be the system shall have the ability to list all food outlets, restaurants, um, starting from. So what I'm trying to say is starting from the closest I want listed first, and
Mm-hmm.
then things that are further away would be down bottom on the list. So it's not that we're not going to show them, but what we list first, on the top,
Hmm.
are the ones that are the closest.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. The system shall have the ability to list all food outlets from the starting from the restaurant outlets that are the closest to the customers. 225 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's one requirement. So now what that does is this requirement is um to list all of the food apps. The system shall have the ability to list all food outlets, restaurants, starting from outlets, restaurants that are closest to the customer's delivery address, ranging from 0 to 25 miles. So now this satisfies this just one thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, if we want to move further and say, once food outlet has been selected, now we want to display the menu for the customer. So the system shall have the ability to allow customers to select a outlet. The system shall have the ability to allow customers to select a food outlet slash restaurant.
That
Um,
is within their delivery range. Makes sense.
Allow them to view the menu for that. And allow them to view the menu for that particular restaurant, right? So
Allow them to view the menu. Yeah.
so now we're going through and documenting requirements based on the workflow diagram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now, like, again, these are functional requirements. We could do the same for user stories. So I'll just copy and paste this so I know. And we can now do a user story. As a user, as a customer, I want the ability to see food outlets um, so that I can select a,
Shouldn't we add like as a customer, I want the ability to see food outlets, restaurants that are within 25 miles of my location?
yeah, so that I can select a restaurant closest to me or,
Okay.
yeah. Um, and then given when then,
Mm-hmm.
given that I am on the DoorDash app, when I, so do they have to say that I'm looking for, when they open the app, so once they're on the app, they could just see the food outlets displayed, right?
When I log into the app, would that
Yeah.
yeah.
So given that, when I log,
Given that I am a registered user, won't make more sense.
yeah,
No.
that's right. Does that sound right?
That does, yes.
Okay, so we've covered this one.
Mhm.
And then we can make sure that the same business rules apply. I'm tired.
I know.
Okay. And then the system shall have the ability to allow customers to select within their delivery range and allow them. Okay, now this one, the next one is going to be for viewing the menu, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll copy and paste this again. As a customer, I want the ability to see, I want to see the menu for a restaurant
Mm-hmm.
of my choice, so so that I can make my food selections.
Mm-hmm.
Given that I am on the app, given that I am, when I select,
Mm-hmm.
then I am able,
Able to view the offered menu items, right? Right.
and it's that simple, right? So we went from high level functionality to workflow diagrams to requirements, and you continue building these out until you have all your functional requirements or all your user stories, and that's how you deliver a project. And that's it. So I think we're done here. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Thank you, Vivek, again for helping me record this video. And if you guys have any comments or questions, any other questions, post them on my YouTube channel so that way I can get back to you, and then give me other video content ideas that you have, and we can continue making videos like this for you. All right, and I'll put the links of these documents that we worked on onto the channel as well, so you can see what we created. All right. All right. Thank you.